So, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. I wanted to talk a little bit about Pongo, the proceeds if you buy a book, and of course you don't have to. We'll go to Pongo, and Nagu is, raise your hand, back there. He's one of the executive directors. Pongo's been a delight to me. It's important work. Pongo works with youth who are either incarcerated or in the mental health system, and you can read about it online, but it's important to me. So if you do choose to purchase the book, the proceeds are going to that organization, and will benefit a lot of children. Okay, so as I said, I'd like to start with a few quotations from Anthony. Is Anthony here? A few years ago, during the pandemic, a lot of these poems did come out of the pandemic, but I was a guest speaker or guest teacher in one of his classes, and it was on Zoom, and I think it was the beginning poetry class. And I'd like to start, you have the chat going in Zoom, that there were some really lovely metaphors that the students put in there about poetry. And so I saved the chat, and here are some definitions I'd like to start with, because I think they really capture the idea of poetry. A poem is what happens when a wingless creature is told to fly. A poem is a pain, a thorn in the foot, like a bullet in the moon. A poem is the roots of a tree walking to the horizon. And I don't know those students, but those are really lovely. He also had the students write analysis of the poems that I had sent in, which is crazy if you've ever had something like that happen. It is really an experience. So it made me very grateful. The students were generous, insightful, and very kind. And I'm going to share a couple of those favorite lines. They were not the deepest or most analytical, but very sincere. One student quoted a few lines from one of the poems. I dreamed he poured honey into a halved golden pear. I dreamed the taste of sugar. Then the student added, that makes me so hungry for some reason. Another favorite student response was, Naganawa's choice of wording adds a very mysterious mood to the poem, almost like a thriller story. Personally, my favorite genre of any type is thriller, mystery, and horror. So I really enjoyed it. It was not a horror story. So I'm going to read first a few poems that go with the Made Me Hungry poem. It's from an old chat book called The Scarecrow Bride, and they're written from the point of view of a scarecrow who loves the farmer who made her, and also who has feelings but is inanimate and can't move around. The first one is called At Night. Creatures came toward me, bright-eyed, pointed, clawed. They scrabbled earth, turned over fallen thumbs. Under dark shadows of leaves, sounds of chewing. The foxes, I love the shining eyes, their ragged coats. No foxes in a vineyard. These clamp their jaws on doves, limp as garden gloves. My tattered rags, my head of straw, a shadow among beans and trellises. Their pelts, blood-filled, glowed like lanterns held by night. This one is still in the Scarecrow's voice, and it is the hungry poem. The he in the poem is the farmer. Fireweed. He thought I was only a frame, a bleached scrap in the wind. Stems twining up my back, fireweed in my hair. But bees circled my head, kissed my stitched lips. Under a wax moon, I dreamed he poured honey into a halved golden pear. That makes someone very hungry.